For the most of her life, my preteen daughter Hazel has been enamored with animals, particularly monkeys. Thus, every year on her birthday, well, not the last one, obviously, we go to a nearby amusement park and petting zoo. Although my nieces, who are now 21 and 28 years old, have outgrown this custom, my mother started it, and I prefer to continue it. My 3-year companion Natalie was excited too, so I described the custom to her over breakfast. She wasn't, though. According to Natalie, her daughter Gracie May, who is a year older than Hazel, is too nervous and afraid of animals like horses, donkeys, and goats to enjoy an enjoyable day out. Natalie proposed that we attempt a new location, one that would be less scary for her, a new custom. I insisted on going to the petting zoo and holiday parks since I knew Hazel would be disappointed. Natalie stayed at home with Gracie May while I went to the holiday park with Hazel, my niece who is 21, and Natalie's son Jack Twain. Jack was excited since he had never seen a goat up close, while Hazel was thrilled because she was now tall enough to ride rides that she couldn't before. On our way out, Jack and Hazel each got a toy from the gift shop, and on the way home for supper, we made a stop at McDonald's. Hazel had a good birthday overall. Natalie's excitement for the day diminished. Though she believed I had caused rift between the siblings by taking one and leaving the other, I felt I had been kind to include Jack. I told Gracie May that it was her birthday and she was free to enjoy herself, but it was also Hazel's birthday, so it wouldn't be fair for everything to center around her. Isolating her daughter, and without even getting her McDonald's as she listened to Hazel and Jack brag about their fun, is what Natalie feels I did cruelly. I was irritated by this because Natalie had previously stated that Gracie May wouldn't have liked the vacation and that's why she wasn't invited. I generally agree with Natalie when she says that I'm not making enough of an effort to show that we should now be a family and do things together. Nevertheless, Hazel's birthday is undoubtedly meant to honor her, right? Nevertheless, Hazel and Jack had a great day, whereas Gracie May is obviously unhappy and feels extremely left out. My baby needed to have a special day, and I didn't want to offend anyone. However, given that she is obviously an emotional youngster, I can see why that might bother her. Am I the foolish one? Not the fool. Natalie is indifferent to Gracie May's emotions. If she had, she would have spent our time together doing something fun for her. But rather than doing anything positive for her own child, she stayed at home with her, and the two of them pouted and grew sad, all for the mere reason that you would feel bad if you celebrated your own child's birthday. You will carefully consider your options before extending this connection if you are wise. Natalie has made it plain that she wants you to put her daughter's needs ahead of your own, and that she will stop at nothing to make her own child suffer more in order to control you. It is not a good thing for your daughter to be around her. Absolutely, I wouldn't start a life with someone who plays with my emotions by using their child as a pawn. She's punishing you for not doing what she wanted by doing this. It is hard to have a healthy relationship with someone who uses her daughter's misery as a weapon to punish you for setting limits. In this situation, that person is her daughter. It's a very well-made point. Make sure Gracie May knows she was invited, but her mother declined since it would be hurtful if she believed she wasn't. Furthermore, even though she is afraid, I find it hard to believe she wouldn't have wanted to go. Has Natalie ever expressed her feelings regarding the park? Perhaps she was just unwilling to depart. Parties with Gracie can revolve around her likes and dislikes. That does not imply that Jack and Hazel must indulge her. Even though you're not the moron in this situation, you might have done better by getting Gracie a toy and some McDonald's. Though you don't have to alter anything to suit her, it would be ideal if you made an effort to include her. He's not her father, wow. Allow him to devote all of his time and attention to his child, as Natalie will undoubtedly do. Natalie won't be of any use to her daughter if she keeps her safe from potentially frightening things. She could have arrived at any time and kept Gracie May secure and at ease. Indeed, it's true that Hazel's birthday is all about her. Since high school, Alyssa, 27, Jess, 26, Nora, 24, Ivy, 27, and I, 26, have been buddies. All of us were ecstatic when Alyssa got engaged. Regretfully, she informs us that roughly 3 months prior to the wedding, she is starting to feel uneasy. We comforted her, telling her that was typical considering the significant commitment she was about to make and the stress of wedding preparations. She tells me she's reconnected with an ex on a late-night phone call that she received some time later. She was severely heartbroken by this person. Consider a narcissistic person who bombs numerous women and then treats them poorly. To bid her farewell and wish her well, the ex asked her to have coffee. However, things got out of hand and they ended up sleeping together. Startled, I attempted to reassert reality to her. She started crying uncontrollably. I hoped it was just one stupid error before a really stressful circumstance, but Alyssa insisted it was just one time and would never happen again. Humans are fallible beings. When I asked Alyssa if she loved her fiancé, she said that she did. She said that she had already discussed this with the others, and they had advised her to move on and forget it had ever happened if it had only happened once and had no significance. It wasn't the final instance. They merely texted each other at first, but they quickly began an affair. Alyssa began to have serious concerns about the wedding. This led to discord within our group. The others believed that if Alyssa had greater feelings for her ex, she ought to call off the wedding. They believed that there was no longer any chance to save their connection with her fiancé. The only people who believed that what she was feeling for her ex was not true love were me and others. We believed that he was only showing her that he still had feelings for her, and that if she gave up on her fiancé for him, he would eventually shatter her heart once more. All of us agreed that she ought to speak with her fiancé. In order to be with her ex, Alyssa chose to cancel the wedding and heed the advice of others. Everybody was devastated. Regretfully, things aren't moving smoothly. They constantly argue, mainly because he thinks she still has feelings for her ex-fiancé and becomes fixated on the idea. She is miserable and regrets the entire situation. When the five of us got together lately, Alyssa mentioned that she wasn't sure if she didn't make a big mistake. I've been trying very hard not to tell people. I told you so. But I gave in this time. Before all of this, I felt like I was voted down by the others in their simple-minded conception of love. I remarked. I hate to say it, but I told you this would happen. To Alyssa as she was crying, and she began to cry even more. The others informed me later in a group conversation that it was really bad to say that. They said that it made no difference at all and that I need to help her as much as possible rather than escalating her distress. I disagree, but Ivy is furious and believes I'm a poor friend and should apologize to Alyssa. Am I the foolish one? Not the fool. Here, whose heart was broken? He was her fiancé, poor man. It appears that he avoided a gunshot. He is ignored by all parties in the equation. The fool is your buddy. That was a one-time occurrence that would never occur again. A cheater once is a cheater forever. She is deserving of what she received. Here, everyone is the idiot. Your buddies because you allowed her to cheat on her fiancé, you encouraged her to hide from him, and you made it seem like it was her fault. Yes, you were correct, but it doesn't prove anything new when you add insult to injuries at a time when she's already losing it over her horrible behavior. Ultimately, saying, I told you so, never really accomplishes anything positive. Maybe the next time, simply relish the fact that you have a front row seat to witness karma spin its terrible web. My 45-year-old daughter is brilliant, caring, and gorgeous. She is also my daughter. She is a good student, has a large social circle, and has always had a strong work ethic. I'm incredibly pleased. She is very much trapped in this stage of her life, though, and has recently shifted her interests and activities. In the beginning of 2020, she treated herself to an Xbox and began playing games. Her passion intensified, and the mandates made it simpler for her to develop an addiction to it. When the rules were relaxed, she would take her Xbox to the homes of her male friends, where she would spend the entire night chatting to her boyfriends. After taking a gap year, I advised her to apply to Northern University in our state and rush into a sorority when we started discussing universities she should apply to. She indicated she would attend a limited Greek life school instead of mine, even if I was in one. She claimed that she wouldn't develop any emotional bonds with sororities, and that she believes their lifestyle is false. I didn't understand why she would have this story, therefore I took it personally because I was in one when I was her age. She had only been to her friend's sorority for one weekend. Cut to the present, she is a college student and is succeeding splendidly. She is, once again, a lovely girl with lots of friends, but her interest in gaming has only grown. She discusses people who record themselves making live recordings of themselves doing just about anything, including viewing intriguing films, events, and playing video games. She set herself up in her room, buying a gaming chair and other accessories with her own money. She watches anime and has books on it. She was upset with me a few days ago when I put her down and encouraged her to find other social interests. She's stating that I'm fascinated with her notoriety and that I'm attempting to turn her into me. I attempted to soothe her, but she wouldn't accept the fact that I was just thinking about herself. I just don't get it because some of my husband's friends and I have girls her age who are involved in Greek life, enjoy enjoyable group activities, and have inclusive hobbies. She is really attractive and has lots of friends. All I want is for her to adopt more productive and healthful behaviors. She hasn't spoken to me since. She's been preoccupied with relocating with her pals to her new home. My spouse has informed me that she is justified, but he won't participate in this. Am I the foolish one? It's you who is the fool. How many times do you really need to say that she's attractive? Should she not be physically attractive, would you still be okay with her enjoying video games? By the way, depending on the game she's playing, gaming might be sociable. Moreover, Twitch streaming is social. You said she's happy and healthy, and she has a lot of friends, so what's the problem? That she differs from you? That you were not given a legacy carbon copy to show off to your sorority sisters? Allow your daughter to be independent and provide her support. I also noticed this. It seems as though OP believes that just because her daughter is attractive, she has to act a certain way and have certain interests. To be honest, I was taken aback. Gaming is for boys, is not what I read in the OP's tale. I would really like to see a list of the interests the OP thinks a gorgeous girl should be into, haha. It's you who is the fool. She's discovering and pursuing her interests. It's not necessarily incorrect just because you don't grasp something. You also seem to be fixated on two unimportant things: how gorgeous and well-liked she is. I don't really understand these new interests in your life. I am proud that you're finding yourself and becoming your own person. I will work on respecting your boundaries and not passing judgment. I love you no matter what. Practice saying this to her in front of a mirror. Once you're comfortable with it, go ahead and tell her. So I, male, 25, and my wife, 24, are going to the United States from Japan for a month for vacation. When we booked the tickets, we initially thought that we were going to be sitting next to each other, but I had the option to upgrade my seat to business with miles, and I did. Well, my wife is not too happy about that because she wanted to sit together on the 12-hour flight, but it's overnight, so we're going to be sleeping the whole flight, so I didn't think it mattered. I told her that, and she got upset because she thinks I chose business class over her, and that's rude, apparently. I said to her that she's just jealous in a teasing, joking way, and she got upset and told me to ask the airline to see if I could switch my seat back to economy. I said heck no because I'm not going to miss my opportunity to sit in business class, which looks amazing by the way. In my eyes, it's just a 12-hour flight, and it doesn't matter if I sit next to my wife or not. If it's really bad though, I still have a week before my flight to maybe get it changed. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. If there's only one upgrade my missus would be offered at first, then she would knock it back because she would prefer to be with me than comfortable alone, which is sort of what marrying someone is meant to mean, don't you think? I wouldn't cash in miles until there was enough to upgrade us both or buy us a vacation trip. Jesus, you don't know how to be married at all. You are the idiot. You literally ditched your wife and then mocked her. You are absolutely the idiot here, and she's completely right to be upset. A move like that would make me think long and hard about my marriage. What good does my husband do for me to make up for this egocentric behavior? Business class comes with more space, better service, and a quieter atmosphere. You're sending a message to your wife that you deserve all that, but she doesn't. Why didn't you upgrade both seats so you could both have a better experience? Just a 12-hour flight isn't a sentence I hear that often. I've done 12-hour flights several times, and they suck even when you have company you love. That flight is going to be even more awful for your wife if she's stuck next to a stranger. Whether you understand why or not, your wife has clarified how she feels, and you are the idiot if you ignore that. My wife and I, 35 female, are going on a family vacation with her son, parents, and siblings to the Greek islands. It's a place my wife and I talked about visiting on our very first date, and have saved up lots of money to go. My ex-wife and I are still very close. We had 3 kids together, but sadly, all 3 passed away. However, I still consider her my family, and I've known her almost my whole life, so there were no hard feelings after our divorce. She's also like a knot to my stepson and very good friends with my current wife and me. My stepson asked me to bring my ex-wife on our family vacation with us since she's family. I thought about it for a while, and I decided, why not ask her? She and her boyfriend had recently broken up, and she's been pretty beaten down the last few weeks, so I thought a little vacation for her would help her out a lot and get some things off her mind and relax for a bit. I asked my wife, and she said she's happy to have her come along. I asked my ex-wife if she would like to join us, and she was hesitant at first because she didn't want to intrude, but she eventually agreed and was more than excited to come along. She offered to buy her own plane ticket and hotel room, but my wife and I insisted that we would take care of it for her. She was incredibly grateful, and she started packing. My wife's mother had come over to our house and saw I had 1 extra plane ticket on the counter than what we were supposed to have, and I told her that my ex-wife was coming. She blew up in my face and told me I was making everyone very uncomfortable by inviting her, and that nobody even knew her. She also accused me of planning to cheat on my wife by inviting her on this trip. She called me an idiot for bringing my ex-wife on a family trip. She also said that she's no longer my family since we were divorced and have no kids together. I yelled a whole bunch of crap in her face that I don't even remember. She stormed out of my house, and now everyone is calling to say that they don't want to go on the trip anymore. Now my wife is very upset. I was just trying to do something nice for someone who was struggling at the moment. I didn't think inviting one person would cause everyone to pull out. They're going on a free vacation, and the plane is refundable. I'm starting to feel like an idiot because now my wife is very upset that her family isn't going, and we've spent all this money on this trip. And to make things worse, my ex-wife texts me saying she's all packed for tomorrow and how excited and grateful she is that we invited her. So am I the idiot? Not the idiot. If the wife had no issue, the stepson didn't, why was the mother-in-law so angry? Honestly, if I were you, I'd be very cautious of her in the future because I've seen mothers ruin their children's marriages due to their paranoid thoughts. It's none of your mother-in-law's business, really. Everyone's the idiot here. If you're going to invite someone on a vacation you planned with a bunch of people, it's probably best to check with everyone beforehand. That includes your in-laws. Mother-in-law is being unreasonable and insulting still. She should have been consulted beforehand. Maybe the whole thing wouldn't have blown up like that then. Mother-in-law was out of line to throw a hissy fit, but your response was too extreme. You should have let mother-in-law have her childlike temper tantrum and let your wife handle her. Not the idiot. Her, you have no children with her. Comment is grounds to go absolute nuclear on her in my book. That was so uncalled for and frankly messed up. Just because they aren't co-parenting anymore doesn't mean they won't always be the mother of each other's children. Once a mom, always a mom.